Hey everyone, my name is Ajay Tucker, here joined by my fellow reviewer,
Nathan Long, hello.
and we're here to discuss the film
Love Lies Bleeding,
directed by
Rose Glass.
I was going to say the Safdie brothers, but it's fine.
You can definitely I feel that feels like an inspiration. It does, yeah.
Definitely. So we are here to discuss the film Love Lies Bleeding. How did you feel about the film? I mean, before we get into that, we did this before. I just want to say to everybody watching, we tried to do this before without realizing that we didn't record it.
We did a test run. That's how professional we are.
And this is worse than the test run. So far. But anyways, Nathan.
Yeah.
Describe the film.
Love Lies Bleeding. It markets itself as like a romance revenge film. It's Kristen Stewart and Katie O'Brien as the leads of the movie. They fall in love. Katie O'Brien is a bodybuilder, and together they kind of get wrapped up in like this criminal plot with Ed Harris. There's some surrealist elements to it. It's very, very bloody, very gross, romantic, very, very darkly humorous. Just an absolute wonderful time at the movies that you should bring your whole family to see. Do we want to talk about our thoughts? Because personally,
Nathan, how did you feel about the film?
I really liked it. I think the longer I've sat with it, I've come to very much love it. I was a big fan of Rose Glass's first movie, Saint Maud. I think that's a really solid, really well-made horror film. This one is just, you can see her really branching out, touching a lot of genres, a lot of tones, wears a lot of influences on its sleeve. You said Safdie brothers, but there's a lot of Lynch, David Cronenberg, a little bit of the Coen brothers with the crime element. I think it's a really solid, well-made piece of genre filmmaking.
Awesome. I really do like that you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, go for it.
Here's the thing. I don't hate the film.
Okay. Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't love it either.
Sure.
I was rather indifferent about the film, and part of the reason as to why I was indifferent is because I definitely do believe that this film suffered through tonal inconsistencies throughout the film. Obviously, we did watch the film, and we assume that if you're watching this review, you have also watched the film. So this is going to be filled with spoiler talk and stuff like that. So if you want to get out of the video, go do it. Obviously subscribe, like the video. Don't leave a nasty comment like I heard people snoring and I decided to check out last review that we did. That idiot commenter ruined the entire flow of that podcast. But I do think that the film suffered through certain tonal inconsistencies. One of them being is that in the film, obviously we'll get into the spoilers and all that, but especially in the third act of the film where it was trying to really send a message, and then later on it would just be just so over the top where I'm it just takes me out of the film. When you see Lou and Lou Sr. get into it,
yeah,
and then all of a sudden Lou Sr. takes a bite of a cockroach.
Yeah, you didn't like that?
I'm like, what kind of Tyler the Creator music video did I enter into? I didn't really think that was necessary. It took me out of the film. It made me laugh at it. Not with it, but at it. And then later on in the film, especially in the third act, where things really do get spicy, where you see Daisy, I think that's her name.
Daisy. Are we talking about
no, Lou's girlfriend?
That the bodybuilder, right?
Jackie,
I think is her name.
Where you just see her just turn into this Megazord.
Yeah, she
and then just pull down Lou
gets
Sr.
big.
You just think to yourself, if this was David Lynch, I would say okay, that's a pass, or if this was Cronenberg, I would say okay, that's a pass. But I just think for now, for what the film was trying to portray, I just didn't think it really worked out. And I obviously people will obviously disagree with me on that, but I don't want to say that I hated the film. Yeah. I don't hate the film. But at the same time, I don't want to say that I loved it either.
I get you. I understand your thoughts, because I think for a while sitting in the theater, I was just kind of taken aback because it feels like the movie like resets itself with something crazy like every 20 minutes. And by the end of it, I'm like, what? I didn't really have many thoughts going in my head on whether or not I liked it. But I think the longer I've sat with it, the more I'm like, no, I really, really like this. And I think a lot of the parts where like you laugh and it's like, I feel like it's intentional. The movie kind of wants to be weird and kind of make you laugh a little bit. I loved when Ed Harris gets really pissed off at Kristen Stewart and then in his rage just eats a bug. Yeah. It's so out of pocket. And yeah, no, I can understand your feelings, but I feel on the part of the filmmaker, it was very much intentional, trying to toe that line of like funny and strange.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with the film is that like I do like campy films, especially when it's like female centric. I mean, if you watch Jennifer's Body, right?
Oh yeah.
That film is, I mean, it's not similar to this film at all, but there are moments in the film where like you laugh at it and you laugh along with the film and you understand what the film is doing because Diablo Cody is a really good screenwriter. Even if you watch like The Neon Demon, which is directed by Refn, which I really do like that film as well. There are times in the film where you just laugh out loud.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like it knew what it was going for. You know, there was always like this like tinge of, okay, like here are some jokes, but at the same time, like here's the film as well. Yeah. With this, it just felt as if I just couldn't get into any of the characters.
Okay. Yeah.
Where it was so hard for me to like really root for any of the characters. Not that I need to root for any of the characters, because obviously with Jennifer's Body, when you see Megan Fox's character, I'm like, okay, obviously, like you don't want to side with Megan Fox's character, but at least they're interesting enough. With this film, there's not that much given for me to really like support the characters in a way.
I guess I can understand that they aren't like great people. I guess the most normal character we have, I guess, as our audience surrogate is Jackie the bodybuilder, and like her being the most normal character is absolutely ridiculous considering like most of the stuff like she gets up to on her own. I can understand what you mean when you say that, yeah, and there's not a lot of backstory given for a lot of people in the movie. It's just like
that's interesting that you say Jackie is the most liked character, because I was going to say the opposite.
Really?
I find Jackie to be extremely reprehensible in this film.
Really? Ooh, talk more about that.
I mean, I think, and especially in the first act of the film, you see like, oh, she's like very like poor and whatnot, but again, that doesn't, you can't just show me a scene of her being under an overpass, you know, brushing her teeth to show that she's homeless for me to really care about her. Like, I mean, I don't know. It felt as if the film wanted me to like her in a way. And overall, it just didn't come across as that.
Okay.
Where you're watching the film and you're thinking, okay, I still don't like this character. I don't like this character. The only person that I would really say that I somewhat support or that I could somewhat understand or identify with is Lou. Because obviously, like, her family situation and how she tries to not be her father, but by the end of the film, she essentially becomes the father.
Yeah, no, she's much more like Ed Harris's character than she likes to admit.
I would say Kristen Stewart did a great job in this film.
Oh my god,
the acting was great.
She's fantastic. Yeah,
Kristen
absolutely.
Stewart, Ed Harris as well. I think Ed Harris is like the underrated person in this entire film, honestly.
Oh my god, yeah, no. Ed Harris always brings 100% to every role that he's in.
I mean, the acting was great. I mean, Dave Franco as well. I thought did really good with the limited amount of screen time that he had.
No, Dave Franco's really good. I know you didn't like her character, but I thought Katie Bryan really brought a lot to the role, like an intensity to it. I think my favorite sequence, the standout sequence of the entire movie is the female bodybuilding competition, and that entire like 10 minutes is just a slow like nightmare of anxiety.
Yeah, it's very much like a hallucinogenic nightmare. I would understand. I think this film is good if you're like on an acid trip.
Yeah.
If you're on an acid trip, definitely go watch this film.
This would be the worst movie to watch on acid.
Really?
Oh my god. my friend, this movie and acid do not play
I think this
well.
film would go great if you're like on something, but if you're like stone cold sober while watching this film, you're just like, like
You got to meet the movie halfway with its wildness.
what was the Katie? What was her name again?
The bodybuilder?
Yeah, the bodybuilder.
Oh, yeah, Jackie.
Oh, I was gonna call her 80 Bryan for some reason. I was like, I don't know why, but it's very Irish. But when you see Katie like throw up Kristen Stewart,
Oh, yeah, the dream sequence.
which I thought was hilarious,
Yeah.
but again, it does take me out of the film.
Okay. That is a very wild and weird dream sequence.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it,
Mm.
but I mean, at the same time, like I watch it, and I'm thinking to myself, like, I don't know, I just for me, I just couldn't really get into that part.
I get you.
But again, like I don't hate the film. I know it sounds like I'm hating on the film. I'm not
No.
hating on the film. Like obviously there are good parts in the film. You know, I do
Yeah.
like the acting. I do like, you know, in terms of what these characters brought. I thought it was great. I mean, that scene in which Katie kills Dave Franco's character
Oh, my God, yeah.
was great. I mean, the makeup of like, you know, Dave Franco just smiling.
Oh, yeah, no, his jaw kind of like hanging off his
Yeah.
face. Yeah.
That was great.
No, that was really good. I definitely know where you're coming from, because this definitely will be a movie that like hits people a little different for each and every one of them, just because it's so out there with a lot of the elements, a lot of the surrealist elements. So I totally get those not really hitting. I'm a weirdo, so like when you show me a female bodybuilder vomiting up Kristen Stewart, I'm like, okay, yeah, no, I'm along for the ride. I get what you're saying there. I didn't know what they were trying to say there, but I'm just
Yeah.
like, oh, I'll watch it. Hell yeah, let's go. Let's rock and roll.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't hate the film. I think it was cool for what it was, but at the same time, like I've seen other directors take complex characters and make it fun, engaging, but also not, you know, trying to make it too metaphorical. Which I feel as if at times this film was trying to be deeper than it actually was. Because at the end of the day, like, what did he take out of the film? Like, I mean, genuine question. Like, how did you what did you like when you left the cinema? Besides, you know, you're into, you know, jacked people that, you know, shoot things up the butt.
Yeah.
What did he take out of the film? And then it's a genuine question. Like,
I saw it as a story of two kind of like broken, unfocused people trying to find sort of a consistency in their life and finding it with one another. I thought there were some themes about confidence and about, I guess, strength, you could say. There's a lot of like gun imagery, and those are juxtaposed with Jackie's character, the bodybuilder. She even says just like, oh no, I don't like guns, like my fists are all I need. So like a movie kind of like about power, I guess you could say. That's some of the stuff I took out of the movie. Stuff about like toxic relationships, about power dynamics within relationships. I get that's what hit for me, at least.
okay. I was trying to follow along, and I did.
I get very rambly. I know.
I was trying to follow. I'm like, what is he trying to say here?
These are just like the quick little things that I was thinking about when I left the cinema.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that you have to take away some part. Like when you watch a film, you don't have to take away anything from the film. As long as you enjoy the film, that's what matters.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like I feel like this film was one of those films I was trying to say something, but it didn't really come across as that. You know, I mean, when you see, I mean, obviously you see Lou trying to be her father. Like when you see Lou killing, I wouldn't say like her mistress, but like the person that was trying to like be in Katie's spot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think she was played by like Anna Baryshnikov's daughter. I think, pretty sure.
Huh.
Mikhail Baryshnikov's daughter.
I don't know that.
He's a Russian dancer, but the daughter
okay.
is in the film.
Oh.
And she was the
that's who it
one that
was.
got
Yeah.
killed
Yeah,
by
like
Katie.
Lou's other girlfriend.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, so when you see Lou kill Baryshnikov's daughter, you're like, okay, like I understand, like she's now her father, and now
Yeah.
she's doing the same thing. She's basically just her father, but just a little bit more stubborn about it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there is a feeling inside of you, like I feel like this could have been done a little bit better if, say, a better, not a better director, but I feel like the vision could have been done a little bit better if, say, like a more established director was behind it.
Okay.
I didn't hate the film, by the way.
No, I know you didn't hate it. I know you didn't hate it. No, you just have a differing opinion. That's totally cool, man.
I mean, again, I like the acting.
Yeah.
The ways in which these characters are portrayed are great. I was I would say I was entertained throughout this film. I didn't log out of the film. Usually, there are times where I watch a film and I'm like, okay, I'm checking out as soon as possible. You know, I mean, we don't have to name any names of films that we've seen in the past year or so where we tuned out, but there are a good amount of films that, you know, don't really pique my interest.
I get it, yeah.
But this is definitely a film in which I just couldn't really vibe with.
I get you.
How do you feel about the sex scenes in the film?
The sex scenes? I'm all for sex scenes in movies. Don't take them away. I thought they worked. I thought they had a place in the story. They were used to show the connectivity between the characters, show their intimacy. Yes. Sex scenes in any movie. Keep them. They rock.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really... A lot of people have, like, differing opinions on the sex scenes. I'm like... I don't really care either or, like, whether there are sex scenes in movies or not. But I did feel as if it definitely did serve as a part in the film.
Yeah.
Or, like, there was an actual reason as to why
we are seeing this. Yeah.
I just feel like... And this is just, like, a conversation on just, like, sex scenes in general. It's just, like, as long as it, like... has some bearing on the film and not just like hastily just thrown in there. Like I'll support it, you know.
I'm of two schools of thought when it comes to the movie sex scene. One part of my brain is like, you know, it's part of life, you know, it's a tool to show intimacy between characters, to show vulnerability. That's always good. And then the other side of my brain is, wow, these actors are hot. I wish I could see their butts. And so either or, I live in both schools simultaneously.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I mean, when you watch Wolf of Wall Street, you're just like, okay, like this is great. I love it. Margot Robbie is amazing.
This is 3 hours of just orgies.
But at the same time, like there was a service to that. Like it wasn't just like hastily just thrown in there. It was like,
it's to represent like the debaucherous lifestyle.
Yeah, like the casualty or like the negatives, the net negatives of living a life of exuberance and of royalty. And I think that in the way that it's played out in that film is great. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was fine.
Yeah, no, of course. Don't take away the sex scenes. They're great. So long as everyone's having a good time on set, A+. There we go.
Yeah, but overall thoughts on the film? Are there any things that you want to like discuss about or like address in the film that piqued your interest that we didn't really discuss about?
I don't know. I guess I could talk more about the surrealist elements, like of the bodybuilder, like kind of growing to massive sizes, because that's just something I noticed in Saint Maud a while back, and just it seems to be a thing with Rose Glass, kind of like towing the line between like the real and the fantasy, kind of like just like blurring those lines, giving the audience the chance to decide just like, is everything we're seeing, like, is this like real, is this all here, or is it all in the mind of the character? Because throughout the movie, Jackie is taking like massive amounts of steroids and like hallucinating very often. And so we're led to believe just like, is this all in her head? Until the very last scene is her growing to like 50 feet tall and pinning down Ed Harris. And so that's just an element I really like, is that, you know, fantastical kind of way of adding in like fantasy into the story. It's really all I had to say anymore about.
The best part for me was Dave Franco. I love Dave Franco.
Dave Frank. When he's introduced, he's just pounding away at Katie O'Brien, and the face he makes is viscerally upsetting to me.
It was great. Dave Franco is like one of the more underrated actors of our time.
Yeah, no, I would like to see him in more stuff.
Go watch Nerve. If you really want to see his acting prowess, go watch Nerve.
This is actually a review for Nerve.
I actually, controversial opinion, I actually prefer Nerve over this film.
That I can see.
If you put
saying,
a gun to my head and you said, hey, pick a film between Love Lies Bleeding or Nerve, I'm picking Nerve.
You guys really want one of us to die for a game?
Yes! Yes!
I can see you saying Nerve as an answer for a lot of other films.
Yeah, dude, it's Nepo Baby in like on steroids. It's like Julia Roberts' like niece and James Franco's younger brother. And it's just beautiful. I love it so much. Nepo babies are not bad.
They're the gift that keep on giving.
Without Nepo babies, we wouldn't have Sofia Coppola. We wouldn't have Nicolas Cage. We wouldn't have. I don't know.
Hollywood is all Nepo babies at this point.
Yeah. Anyways, we did watch Ricky Stanicky as well. You did.
Oh yeah, you want to talk about Ricky Stanicky?
Yeah, we do have a
Yeah, sure. Let's add in a little bit of Ricky Stanicky at the end. So Ricky Stanicky is a comedy with Zac Efron and John Cena. Zac Efron, his entire life, has like made up an imaginary friend that he blames for all his problems. When he's an older kind of fella, his family wants to meet this mysterious friend from his childhood, and so he hires John Cena to play his friend, and then hilarity ensues, but not really. It's like a 90s, early 2000s kind of like gross out gag comedy. The highlight is just John Cena. There's a nice 5-minute segment where he just dresses up as different like rock and roll music stars and just sings parody songs about masturbation. Yeah, if you saw it in the trailer, that's all you need to see. If you find like a supercut on YouTube of just all of John Cena's scenes, you've seen all of the movie that's worth seeing.
I saw he got in trouble at the Oscars because like he went up there like naked, and then like announced like the Oscar for best costume or best wardrobe or something.
He got in trouble for that?
I mean, he got like some outrage on like online.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean, it was. I didn't watch it, but I'm very interested in watching it.
You can still watch it. There's some funny stuff. I watched it very high because it was the only way I was gonna get through it. And yeah, my main takeaway is John Cena's very funny.
Yeah.
He's a very naturally funny performer, very good at what he does. Everything else about the movie is so cookie cutter bland. You could cut around this movie and add in scenes from just like other lame 2000s comedies and nothing would really change.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I support the comedy. I support bringing back early 2000s comedies.
I also want more comedies, but I want just a little bit more effort put in.
Effort?
I guess I'd say. Like, John Cena can't just be the best part of your movie. There's got to be some other stuff to chew on there, too, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't watch the film, so I can't really base it or, like, judge it. But, I mean, would you say that this is on par with, say, like, The Nice Guys? Or is it, like, a buddy... I mean, it's not a buddy cop film, obviously, but...
No.
Or Ocean's 11, or...
It's not that clever to be either of those movies. Again, John Cena's very good in it. Zac Efron has some small, funny moments. There's two other, like, main characters, because it's, like, Zac Efron and, like, his two childhood friends, but, like, they don't add much to the movie. They aren't as funny. It's really just these two guys that are kind of carrying most of it.
Yeah. Yeah, so Zac Efron's in the film. Jack Knight. No, not Jack Knight. He's dead. Jermaine Fowler is also in the film, right?
Oh, that's his name. Jermaine Fowler. Yeah, he's in the movie too.
Andrew Santino.
Andrew Santino. Yeah,
He's also in the film.
Andrew Fowler. No.
Jermaine
Fowler. Andrew Santino.
You can easily confuse the two of them.
They look very similar. Yeah, no,
Just add a picture of Andrew Santino and then add a picture of Jermaine Fowler.
Same guy.
Yeah, same guy.
No, they're the other two leads in the movie. They're fine. They're okay. They're just. I don't think they're given as much really to do, and they just aren't as standout.
Yeah. I saw Zac Efron and John Cena on Bad Friends podcast with Bobby Lee and Andrew Santino because they both co-host the podcast. It was hilarious. Like at one point, Bobby Lee tried to like do like an act out for Zac Efron and John Cena, in which like he portrayed like this Asian guy that was like had a Southern accent.
Zach, you've just come home.
You play the dad.
Okay.
You're the dad. I'm your Korean. I was adopted. Obviously, I was adopted.
No. What if his wife was Korean?
I don't look half Asian.
Yeah, you do.
right.
You look full Asian, but there. Now that's half. That's half. Look at that. This is a guy from Tennessee. There's a guy from Tennessee.
How you doing, man?
There he is.
How you doing, man?
All right.
Hey, Dad.
And it was one of the most hilarious things I think I've ever seen.
God, I love Bobby Lee.
Bobby Lee's hilarious. But would you recommend Ricky Stanicky? Because I was gonna watch it, but I just didn't have the time to.
I feel like I kind of shat all over it, but I think it is still, there's some still really solidly like funny moments in it that you can enjoy. Again, go in there knowing that like most of the fun is going to be with John Cena, and that everything else your brain's going to kind of get until he shows back up, and then you're going to be the funny Invisible Man.
Yeah, I do think that he's taken a lot of his comedy from the Ryan Reynolds school comedy. I definitely see like an influence of that.
I see what you the like quippy, sarcastic,
like Big Bang Theory,
improv
guy. Like I'm smart, you know. Let me show you how to defuse an atom bomb, despite having limited knowledge in doing that. I don't know. I'm just yes-anding this, but you see that in Peacemaker a lot. Like when I see Peacemaker, I'm like, oh, that's just like the DC version of Deadpool, in a lot of ways. But just in a more like sort of mellowed down way, in a more sort of HBO Maxy, David Zaslav way.
I can understand that.
You know what I mean?
I can understand where you're coming from. I like Peacemaker, but I definitely understand like that kind of like it is the Deadpool-y comedy of like we're gonna do some quips.
Yeah, but yeah, hopefully 2000s comedies come back.
Yeah.
Do you think that this film is like a signifier of that, or do you think that this is just like a random run-of-the-mill comedy that will be here today, gone tomorrow?
I feel more in that school. I don't think this is gonna cause the resurgence, but I do hope like we still get more comedies, and hopefully they're a little bit better than this one. Just keep casting John Cena in all these comedies.
Keep casting John Cena.
If you're gonna do more of them, get this guy. Drop him in there. You're going to elevate a 3 out of 10 to at least like a 5, maybe even a 6 out of 10.
I want Peter Sarsgaard. There needs to be a Peter Sarsgaard resurgence. All right, we watched Garden State. I watched Garden State. It's a great film. I'm tired of defending myself to the likes of other people. Garden State's a great film. Enter a scene of Garden State.
Can you swim?
Of course I can swim.
Anyways, so yeah, Ricky Stanicky. I didn't watch this film, but would you recommend it?
Yeah, I give it a tentative recommendation.
All right. There's no really way that we end the podcast, so
okay, then I'll just leave.
You'll just leave.
We're in my house, but I'll just leave.
All right. That's our pod.
That's our pod. Yeah.
In terms of Love Lies Bleeding, would you give it a thumbs up?
I give Love Lies Bleeding 2 thumbs up.
I would say this, verging on a thumbs up, but if you're into like the more sort of art housey, like psychological thrillers, romantic thrillers, definitely go watch it. If you like, metaphorical things in your film, definitely go watch it. But Ricky Stanicky, what do you give it a thumbs up?
I give it like
Yeah.
so I give it like an 11 o'clock thumbs up.
Yeah. I think at one point in the film, John Cena did like a whole entire diatribe on cash transfers. Where he talked to some woman and was like the importance of like doing a cash transfer. And then talked about like how he's going to get like mozzarella sticks or something at the end of it, which I liked.
I don't remember the cash transfers, but I do remember him saying, "I'm gonna go get some mozzarella sticks." Really? Yeah.
Maybe I'm just like, I don't know. But anyways, Ricky Stanicky, Love Lies Bleeding. Anyways, that's our offer today. We'll talk again.
We'll talk again. We'll find
what
else.
film?
Monkey
Immaculate?
Man. Oh, Immaculate.
Yeah.
We can do Immaculate.
Immaculate Monkey Man double feature.
Oh, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I'm excited for Monkey Man.
Oh my god, me too, man.
Just like I'm excited to see Dave Patel. But when I mention Dave Patel, people think I'm mentioning like the comedian Dave Attell.
Dave Attell.
Imagine just Dave Attell just like fucking roundhouse kicking. Like,
I can see it.
Yeah. Skanks for the Memories, good album. All right, that's it for us. Thank you so much. It's gonna be a pain to edit this, but bye.